APNvideo.com is on the air, and tonight we're coming to you from Thunderbird Paseo Park. We're in Glendale, Arizona. Two teams trying to move up the ladder as the Higley Knights, a fifth-ranked team, 8-4 by way of record, taking on the host team, the Glendale Vipers. They are 7-5. Jeff Lowry with you, APN Video Sports, getting a look at Robbie Doran and also Colton Johnson, the two outstanding goalies. Let's look at our A.L.L. Power 7. Brophy at the top. You got Higley 5, Glendale at number 7. Now, the best that Glendale could probably do, they would need a loss from South Point. If they get a victory today, they would finish 5. The top 4 teams do host a playoff game in the first round. Higley is trying to get into the top 4, but they would need to win here tonight, and Boulder Creek would have to lose their game tonight. Ironically, is against South Point at Boulder Creek Anthem High School. So we're ready to go. Higley coming in 8-4, both teams coming off a loss. Higley lost to Desert Vista in their last game, 11-5. That game was played on their home turf, and you're seeing the two best face-off guys in the state. Cam Resch for Higley, who comes out in the dark tops and the gray shorts. The Vipers in the white tops and the dark shorts. And Matt Hardig, who leads the state in face-off wins with 172. And here's the other storyline here today, and he's already scored. Coleman Owen has found the promised land as he goes out of X and went bottom shelf. Slipped that one by Robbie Doran, and Higley leads it 1-0 here in the first. So Coleman, with that goal, now has tied Victor Verbalitis of Pinnacle, who has already completed their season, for the most goals in the year. And Coleman Owen, as we get a face-off win here for the Vipers, and a very good ground ball that time turned in by Jacob Knipple, who had 7 goals against Mountain Ridge on our Game of the Week back on the 8th. So Coleman Owen comes in here, number 3 for Higley. 73 points now. And really the only person that could possibly catch him would be Brady Vibrance over at Mountain Ridge, who plays Brophy tomorrow, their final game of the season. But he's already 10 points behind. He would really have to go off on Brophy. But now the goal leader is now Victor Verbalitis of Pinnacle and Coleman Owen, both tied at 47. And Tegan Williams, the outstanding player here for this Glendale Viper team, who wears number 69, has 40 goals. So if he had a monster game here tonight, he could win the goal-scoring title. But right now, it looks like Coleman Owen can wrap it up if he can get another goal here tonight. And he's only 2 off the assist lead, coming in with 26 assists to Max Armitage, who plays for Boulder Creek. Armitage and Boulder Creek, again, playing South Point here tonight, has a 2-assist lead. But Coleman Owen has a chance to be the top goal, assist, and point leader here in 2019. And that's our second storyline here on our Arizona High School Lacrosse League Game of the Week. Fuentes has had an outstanding year. And the shot turned away. Nice job by Colton Johnson, who had a great game against South Point on our Game of the Week last week. And a nice rebound by John Levante, who's having a monster season this year for the Higley Knights. A 1-0 lead here for the Higley Knights, formerly the Gilbert Tigers. Robbie Doran looks to clear for Bill Casey's Glendale Vipers. He is assisted by Hugo Casey, Ray Cacavelli, Coach Chandler Augsburger, and Dean Farrell. This is the 13th season and the only coach that the Glendale Vipers have ever known. And here's the restart, and here is one of the top athletes in the state of Arizona, Tegan Williams, and he's going to work, and he's going to take it right down the pipe. He pulls the trigger and finds the promised land. That was impressive. A clear that started all the way in front of the scorer's table. And so Tegan Williams with a score a couple of minutes into the contest. And we are tied at 1 apiece. So for Teagan, that is goal number 41. He is currently 4th in the state in goals, and he has 48 points altogether, and that is 10th in the state. Second win for the Vipers. So a 1-1 tie. We're anticipating a very close game here today. They'll throw it away, and now the Knights will restart it. Josiah Jagoda, his dad's right beside our camera well here at. And the ground ball picked up by Coleman Owen. He has just had a tremendous season. So an offsides against Teagan Williams and the Glendale Vipers. And that is a 30-second infraction because it happened on the defensive side of the ball. So Levante will restart it now. Over to Lane Whitkin. Whitkin, one of the X-Men for this Higley team. And Levante pulls the trigger on a big right hand. Levante scores. That's a Coleman Owen assist, and it's now 2-1. So Coleman now 1 assist off the leader. And now Cam Resch and Hardig go head-to-head again, and the Vipers have won 3 of 4. Well, Cam Resch has had a big-time season for Frankie Armenta's team. 154 face-off wins coming into this game and 73 ground balls. Hardig leads the state in ground balls and face-off wins. He has had 2 just tremendous seasons in a row for Coach Bill Casey. Like I said, in his 13th season as head coach, Frankie Armenta in his 6th season. He is assisted by Nate Snyder and Adam Wirtz for the Higley Knights, who come out in the dark tops, Glendale in the red trim. And this is Fuentes, one of their more exciting players. Isaiah with 38 points this year, but he is a facilitator, no doubt. He's had 15 goals this year, but the 23 assists makes him so dangerous. You saw Frankie Armenta leaning up against that light standard. You're looking at a young man who is heading to William and Penn, number 16, Max Standage, who is considered one of the top pulls in the state of Arizona. And they get it to Hardig. Nice swim move. And he left it a little wide to the right of the goal. Colton Johnson seemed like he was locked in, but it was backed up nicely. Teagan's got it. Teagan has scored the only goal of the day for the Vipers and looking for one more. Quick pass. Hardig. And at point-blank range, a tremendous save that time by Colton Johnson. We hope you are enjoying the close-up shots that we are getting. We normally do not shoot our games from a ground level, but this is a bonus game. This was a game that was not on the schedule. And so here we are. And we've got some of the most exciting players in the league in this game. Glendale is trying to move their way up. They don't want to start out as a 7 or 8 seed. They would probably be the 8th seed because they've lost to Pinnacle. They've lost to Sal Point. Those are the 2 teams that they would finish tied record-wise at the end of the year. Coleman Owen is trying to win a scoring title. And the rebound belongs to Jeffrey Cole. That makes it 3-1 in favor of the Knights here in quarter number 1. Cole with all 23 of his points coming via the goal. So Matt Hardig, 17, good stick check there. And another face-off win. Knipple, his second face-off ground ball to give the Vipers possession. So balanced scoring so far for Higley. Owen scored the first goal of the contest. Levante and Cole, 3-1 Higley here in quarter number 1. Fuentes going to work. Exciting player. Jacob Knippel having a big-time season for Bill Casey's team. He is second only to Tegan Williams in total points. He has 35 goals, 4 assists, including, and I think I mentioned it earlier, against Mountain Ridge. He had 7 goals against Mountain Ridge. All right, here's Fuentes on the build-up. Forced out, good defense, good aggressive check over there on the far side by Tyler Ross. Higley coming in with a record of 8-4. Glendale 7-5. Glendale's lost 2 straight, including a 1-point affair to South Point, a game they really needed. And for that matter, so did South Point. 13-12 was the final score in that game. Now Grant Warren, who is one of the top players on Bill Casey's team with 35 points. And he is their top assist guy by far. Here's Tegan. And I don't know, that shot, I think he was trying to get that one on top of the bridge up there. But Glendale was backing it up with Grant Warren, one of the outstanding versatile players. 19 ground balls, 20 goals, 15 assists for Grant Warren. We have 3 of the top 10 point leaders in the state playing in this game. Higley's Levante and Owen, and Tegan Williams for the Vipers. Knippel is 10th in goals. And add another one to the tally. That is his 36th of the season. Knippel rattles the back of the cage. Jacob with his 36th goal of the year and his 40th point. Timeout Glendale as they have cut the deficit to 1 to 3-2. Bill Casey just has done a tremendous job with the West Side Lacrosse, Arizona Box Lacrosse. Is really something that a lot of the coaches and people at the higher levels are encouraging high schoolers to play during the summer. It really improves on certain aspects of the game. Higley comes up with a face-off win here. Tegan Williams gets the ground ball and the turnover and puts the Vipers in transition. But Jacob couldn't hold on to it, but was backed up by Grant Warren. This is the kind of thing that Grant Warren brings to the table. Just the X factor. Tyler Ross, good defense, and smothered up on the shot. I think that was Jacob Knippel who took the shot. Colton Johnson. You look at his numbers, Colton saved only 42% of the shots against so far this year. But I'll tell you, from what I've seen, he's been pretty impressive. Coleman Owen get it out to John Levante. He's got one of the best first steps I've seen of any player this year. And what a two-man team. Owen, number 3, the ball carrier, number 2, Levante. They have combined for nearly 130 points. And the high shot, Josiah Jagoda rattles the back of the cage and gives the Higley Knights a 4-2 lead. So Jacob scoring here in the late stages of this first quarter. And it's 4-2 visiting Higley. Well, Cam Resch, he's been impressive this year, and a big ground ball by Cam. 74 ground balls, and the face-offs, a 4-3 advantage for the Vipers, but Higley has won the last 2, and they scored off that last one. Here's Coleman going to work. He goes top shelf, and he's going to be the 2019 Arizona Lacrosse League leader in goals. That is his 48th goal of the season. Gives his team a 5-2 lead, late stages of quarter number 1. His second goal tonight pushes him ahead of Victor Verbalitis of Pinnacle. Well, they're going to give this one back to Glendale. Now, the only person that could catch Owen would be either Brady Vibrance, who is right now 9 goals behind, and I don't see Brady scoring 9 on Brophy tomorrow night. And Tegan Williams, who already has 1 goal here, he's got 41, but that's going to be awfully tough. And he's going to work, and he's turned away by Colton Johnson. Rebound. And this time, it's Tegan Williams. Got it right back. He scored his second, and I think he heard me over here. I think he may be making a run for Coleman Owen. So that is his 42nd goal of the season. Coleman Owen now with 48, so Tegan is 6 behind. Big face-off here. As the lead has been cut to 2. Face-off win for the Vipers. And a big reason why they get a lot of face-off wins is because of Knipple. He's had 3 ground balls here. Nice clear by Stevie Ibarra. Now Cam Rash, who did not face-off get off that last time, stayed on as a midfielder. Give it to Josiah. This kid has a bright, bright future. Robbie will... Well, that's just good defense. Jackson Warren, 13, I think, broke that up. Tegan with the quick pass to Fuentes. Final seconds of the first quarter. Our game today is brought to you by Ottawa University, Arizona Lacrosse, and the shot to score. Cunningham. That's his first goal of the contest, and that makes it 5-4. I think Fuentes might be credited with the assist. That is the end of the first period. A 5-4 ball game. Stay with us. We'll be back on APN in just a moment. Jeff Lowry back here from the home of the Glendale Vipers, and our face-off Knipple with his 4th ground ball, coming off a face-off win as the Vipers have won 70% of the face-offs to start this contest. But they trail 5-4 to the Higley Knights, the number 5th ranked team in the state of Arizona. Glendale coming in ranked 7th. And Matt Hardig, I'd have to say the premier face-off guy, and I would have to also say that Cam Resch not too far behind. But when you got 172 face-off wins, and of course I know a lot of that depends on how many points your offense is putting on the board or giving up. And you got 112 ground balls. Matt Hardig deserves a lot of credit, plus he's the senior, and Cam Resch is going to have his moment in the sun. He already has. Cam Resch is one of the top 2 or 3. So the playoffs starting to make a little sense now. We got Brophy playing Mountain Ridge tomorrow night at Cactus High School. It's a home game for Mountain Ridge. Brophy has to win. They really need to win that game to maintain the number 1 seed. Now, a lot of people have been telling me that Mountain Ridge, if they win that game, they still have a chance to make the playoffs, but I don't see how. I don't see how. Somebody would have to explain that to me. I was talking to Brady Vibrance, that some of the guys from the team was here tonight, and saying that they beat Pinnacle head-to-head, but then Pinnacle could say the same thing about Glendale and Sal Point. So I'm not really clear on, and we haven't gotten a clarification from the league yet, as Colton Johnson comes through on the left-hander by the very talented Jacob Knipple, and he's going to walk it up the field. Higley with a 5-4 second quarter lead. Here's Josiah. Josiah's grandmother is right next to our camera well here at Thunderbird Paseo Park in Glendale. So your 4 seed, let's go over this real quick while we got a chance, while they settle in 6-on-6, Higley in the dark uniforms. If you want to assume Brophy's going to beat Mountain Ridge, which I would never do. Mountain Ridge has got too much talent. Here's Coleman, who is going to win the goal championship this year. He's got 2 tonight, and right now is tied with Max Armitage for assists, but Boulder Creek is playing tonight, so we don't know what Max has done yet, and we're hoping to get a halftime update.
Charlie, go, Charlie. Keep on, Charlie, come on. Charlie. All right, Jake.
Tanaka with a very good clear that time. I'm wondering if number 8 might be Charles Wingfield. Now, there might have been a change to the roster. Nonetheless, Higley's going to have it, and here's Coleman Owen, who has a very good chance of being the Arizona Lacrosse League Player of the Year. And that's one thing as Jeffrey Cole with the left-handed shot, and he's turned away by Robbie Doran. Excellent save by the Glendale Viper goalie in his senior year. It's senior night here for the Vipers. I really haven't thought about Player of the Year yet, but I would have to say Coleman Owen is at the top of the list. You know, you've got Victor Verbalitis, obviously would get some consideration. I think Brady Vibrance, definitely. Max Bergamo. Oh, here's a shot, and Higley is back up by 2. What a super play by John Levante, who scooped it into the pipe and found his teammate. That was a tremendous play, Seth Gummel. So it's 6-4 in favor of the visiting Higley Knights. Levante with his first assist, his second point.
Always do it.
Face-off win again for the Vipers, and they are just taking care of business right there, and that's keeping them in the game as the Vipers in the white top uniforms trail it 6-4. Now, I know nobody wants to play Brophy, but I think the hottest team in the Arizona Lacrosse League right now is number 2, Notre Dame. Notre Dame doesn't care if they're 1 or 2 going into the playoffs. I think they're the hottest team, and I think they may very well be. Now, don't get mad, Brophy, because of Jake Smith's return. Now, Brophy beat them earlier as Glendale strikes to within 1 with Grant Warren. Unassisted goal here in the early stages of quarter number 2, and it's 6-5 in favor of Higley. But I don't think anybody wants to be that 7th seed. Now, if Glendale loses this game, they will most likely drop to 7. Sal Point to 8. Sal Point would most likely be the 7th seed with Pinnacle 6, Higley 5, unless Boulder Creek gets beat by Sal Point, and then that throws everything. Good ground ball there by Jackson Warren. Does a lot of little things for Coach Casey. So, assuming Brophy can be victorious over Mountain Ridge tomorrow night. Look at that check right there. Excellent job, Max Standage, going to a Division I team next year. William and Penn, no, I'm not sure if they're Division I. Frankie Armenta led his Gilbert Tigers team, now the Higley Knights, to a state championship in 2016. So let's assume Brophy wins tomorrow. They would be 1, Notre Dame 2, Desert Vista 3. We have to assume that Desert Vista is going to beat Chandler. Assume. Because it's going to get too convoluted if we don't assume something. And then number 4 is going to be based on whether Higley wins here tonight and Boulder Creek would lose tonight. Higley would be the number 4 team. If Higley wins and Boulder Creek wins, then Boulder Creek would play. They would have a one game better record than Higley, putting Boulder Creek in the top 4 at number 4 and Higley number 5. And with the loss here tonight and Sal Point's loss, that would make it Pinnacle 6, Sal Point 7, and this Glendale team you're watching right now is Knipple going up against Jonah O'Hare, would be the 8th seed. And then, so you'd have your top seed playing the lowest seed. They throw this one away. This one's going to go out of play. Can they save it? Well, it was on the line. Tegan Williams. Ground ball, Sean Navarro for a moment, and now it's going to be picked up by Glendale. Excellent job by Aiden Cunningham, who has 16 points this year for the Glendale Vipers. Now Fuentes. You know Fuentes. He's got that red helmet. So we're kind of anticipating, but let's say Sal Point gets the upset over Boulder Creek, then they would go to 8-5.
Illegal body.
And if Glendale would win tonight, they would be 8-5. Higley would be 8-5, and then it's a mess. But if Sal Point loses, Glendale loses, like I said, that final 5, 6, 7, and 8, it would be Higley, Pinnacle, Sal Point, and Glendale. That one hit right off the top of the head of Rob Rowan, who's played all 12 games on defense for Frankie Armenta's team. So there's a lot of combinations. If Mountain Ridge would win, save Colton Johnson from Tegan Williams' shot. It's 6-5 in favor of the visiting Higley Knights as they try to clear it here. I still don't know if Mountain Ridge would get into the playoffs, but they would probably be they'd probably be like a 7 or 8 seed. It's just too convoluted to really go through all that, but assuming Brophy would win that game, we got a cross-check, man-up situation here. It's the first penalty. I think that's the second penalty. Second penalty. First one on the that is the second one on Glendale here tonight. Good chance that Brophy would stay number 1. Shot. And look at Robbie Doran rising to the occasion. Outstanding save. John Levante, who has a goal and an assist for the Higley Knights. Good clear by Tegan Williams. That's where the athleticism truly comes in. And now Fuentes. Fuentes scoreless or goalless here tonight with 1 assist. Grant Warren, ball carrier, looking for a high screen on the high left.
Glendale man down. Even.
Okay, we're back to even. Second quarter action. 6-5 lead for visiting Higley in the dark blue uniforms. Tegan Williams with 2 goals. 6 behind the leader, Coleman Owen, who also has 2 goals here tonight for Higley. Tegan will not be with this team next year as he goes into his senior year. And that is going to be a monster loss for Coach Bill Casey. They've decided to move out of state. And Tegan with a quick one-timer. And I'm telling you, I think maybe Colton Johnson got part of the cross, the head of that cross on that ball. Threw that one away, and Levante with a GB to clear for the Knights, who lead at 6-5 on our Arizona Lacrosse League Game of the Week, powered by Ottawa University. Arizona Lacrosse. They'll be joining the MCLA Division II in 2020. For more information, this is an impressive campus that they are building up there. It's right next to Surprise Stadium. If you've ever been to a spring training game, they're doing a great job putting this campus together. It's already a nice campus. It's right there where all the city buildings are. Turned away, Robbie Doran, a second effort. And now the 50-50 unsettled ball, and Harding made it look easy, and Robbie lost it. So blue, Coleman Owen was in the crease. Give it back to Robbie Doran and his Glendale Vipers trying to break a 2-game losing streak here. The best that Glendale could, I think, possibly finish would be well, Boulder Creek beats South Point. The best that Glendale could do is 5. Loose ball, and wisely picked up by Knipple over to Tegan Williams. Williams, good defense by Stevie Ibarra. Has it stripped away, picked up by Knipple. He rolls around his defender and blasts one through. Top shelf, Knipple, his second goal of the contest. He has just tied Aarons of Desert Vista and John Levante of Higley for 8th place in goals this year. And we are tied at 6 apiece here. Seconds left to play here in the first half. Higley gets a win here, and Boulder Creek loses tonight. Higley would be the 4th seed. Boulder Creek would drop to 5.
Timeout, timeout.
Well, I was a little surprised that maybe they did not call a timeout, Glendale that is, and that's a turnover. And here's Coleman Owen. 2 goals, 2 assists. His left-handed shot at the buzzer is no good. And at the end of the first half, we're tied, folks, 6 apiece. Playoff implications abundant. We'll be back. Well, we've had a great one so far. At 6-6 ties, we head to the second.
Come on, John, let's go. Let's go, Cam.
9-4 advantage face-off X for the Vipers, and this one's going to go out of play. They're going to keep it in play. Cam Resch, boy, I'll tell you, he really took a stick to the, looked like right to his wrist. Higley's going to have the ball, so they win the opening face-off to start the second half. Leading scorers in the game, Jacob Knipple for Glendale with 2, Tegan Williams with 2. Coleman Owen has 2 goals, 2 assists. John Levante has 1 goal and 1 assist for Higley. Shot, save, Johnson. Tegan Williams trying to get a hat trick. Now the unsettled ball. Levante comes up with a GB for the Higley Knights here in the third, and a 6-6 tie. It's our Arizona Lacrosse League game of the week, brought to you by Ottawa University, Arizona, and the new lacrosse team that will start in the MCLA Division II starting in 2020. A reminder, after the conclusion of this game, we will have post-game interviews. And by the way, there is a flag down if you didn't see it. Coleman Owen could be the player of the year this year. It's got to be the front runner. Levante pulls a trigger. Robbie Doran. Both these goalies have played extremely well. Coleman looking for the Hattie, and he's turned away. Doran, the senior, let's see what the infraction was. Offsides, it's a 30-second technical foul. Well, you saw Kathy Hardig over there at the scorer's table working hard, keeping the stats. She'd like to say hello to her face-off specialist son, Matt Hardig, working hard out here, and Pete Levante, who does the game film for Coach Armenta, who's right behind us with the pole, wants to say hello to his son, John Levante, and those two are friends. Fuentes on the clear, and a 6-6 tie. Warren pulls the trigger, and he leaves it wide to the right. Tegan Williams will restart it. It's our Arizona High School Game of the Week. I'm Jeff Lowry with APN. If you're interested in game film, interested in maybe next year having us do play-by-play for your team, give us a call at 623-936-5585. Better yet, go to our website. We have all of the contact information there at apnvideo.com. Close-up look at Fuentes. Very nice season. 15 goals. Leads the team in assists with 23. Grant Warren with 15. When you got two guys, almost 40 assists between them. 50-50 ball. Hayden Robb trying to battle, number 78. And it is going to be Glendale possession here as we enter the 5th minute of play, third quarter action. Special thanks to Dan Lannon, the Arizona Lacrosse League president, and all the people that make this league special and allowing us to bring you the game of the week. And you got to love Arizona lacrosse this time of year. Broken up, good defense. That's a sensational defensive play by Navarro. O'Hare and Ibarra trying to get the ground ball. And O'Hare, well, that's a hot potato. Out of play, and O'Hare with a little headbutt on Matt Hardig, and not really sure why he did that. There really is absolutely very little contact on that, and O'Hare is going to get hit for an unsportsmanlike conduct, and he's lucky it's not non-releasable. That's a 1-minute infraction. So a man up for Glendale. I think this is the first time Glendale's been in a man-up situation. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, Jonah O'Hare, nice young man. His older brother played for this organization, played football at Perry High School, and good family. You know, and you know, if you when you lace them up, you put the equipment on. You know, sports is frustrating at times. You know, things don't go your way, and you know, fortunately, that wasn't flagrant. And I don't, not making any excuses at all, but Jonah O'Hare, normally a classy, and I think that might have just been a little frustration. Unfortunately, it was more of a love tap than a all-out head slap. Well, that one, I think, that's the second time Rob Rowan. That was a good check by Stevie Ibarra. I tell you, at times, Stevie Ibarra, I mean, he is just locked down defender for this team. And Tyler Ross, 23, has been really sensational. And Fuentes really did not have much behind that one. And another flag down. And Guns N' Roses. Stevie Ibarra went Guns N' Roses. Slash. So both teams have been man up on 2 occasions in this game. Left-handed shot, thwarted out front. And going to William and Penn, along with Ryan Garrigan, the outstanding goalie over at South Point. Same college. That's standage number 16 for Higley, who has to get back on defense and keep a close eye on one of the most dangerous offensive players in the state. Tegan Williams turned away. Colton Johnson with the save for Higley. I'd like to congratulate Max Bergamo. Iceberg Bergamo of Notre Dame. He's committed to U of A, and there's Tegan Williams. Not quite on cue, but he's got his 3rd goal, and Glendale has their first lead of the contest. I think they're going to give an assist to Warren. Warren with 1 goal and 1 assist. Face-off win Vipers. They got a 9-5 advantage in face-off possession wins. Get it up to Jacob Knipple, who's been impressive. Knipple with 2 goals and 4 ground balls off the 5 face-off wins for Glendale. So Max Bergamo, Victor Verbalitis, a couple of guys committing to the Matt Blamey's U of A. And they really turned their fortunes around. 2-9 a season ago, and Matt's team went 8-5 this year. They beat Grand Canyon for the first time in school history. And I think they're going to be even better next year. Mason DePaula, their freshman attackman. Peyton Boyd. Peyton Boyd is kind of like an Isaiah Fuentes. You know, he's more assists than goals. And their defense, James Offerman. You're going to get Casey Merriman back. Exton Bassett, the former Gilbert Tiger. I think Matt Blamey's going to have a real good team next year. Of course, you always got to watch out for Grand Canyon. We got a whistle. Failure to advance is going to be the call here in the third quarter, with Glendale leading at 7-6, trying to secure a 5 spot, but they're going to need a little help from the South Point Lancers and Boulder Creek. Even if Glendale wins this game, if Boulder Creek wins, well, Boulder Creek would be the 4 seed, Glendale would be the 5 seed. No, that's if Boulder Creek loses and Glendale wins. Glendale goes to the 5 spot. Glendale lost to Boulder Creek earlier in the year. Game that we had on our Game of the Week, Fuentes. Third quarter action, Glendale in possession, leading at 7-6. I'm Jeff Lowry with APM Video Sports, apmvideo.com. Jeffrey Cole, 23 goals, 1 of them tonight. His score back in the first quarter made it 3-1 Higley. Higley has led this entire game up until the tying score by Knipple at the end of the first half, and then Tegan Williams, the Hattie, made it 7-6. Fuentes, no goals, 1 assist. Roll dodge up against Josiah, who really battled him well. Number 22 for Higley, and Levante on the clears. We get a good, close, tight shot of one of the top players in the state of Arizona, Levante. He almost threw it away, and he gets it to Gavin Wolf, who I have been really impressed with. He's been quiet tonight, but this young man, number 24, mixing it up in there, he's only an 8th grader. Baumgartner had a big ground ball, then lost it, and another big ground ball on the other side by R.J. Powell, one of the seniors on this team, and Matt Hardig with an outstanding clear. And I'll tell you, Glendale, this is what separates, I think, so many teams. You got a timeout, good timeout here by Glendale. That was a high-pressure situation, a lot of stress, anxiety. Glendale was able to clear it. And the teams that can keep their composure under those high-stress times, like that whole series of plays, and you can see Frankie Armenta, he's already praying because he's so upset with his team. So Glendale will restart it. Fuentes always looking pass first, but he could score a lot more if he wanted to. But he's got weapons to go to, like Knipple and Warren and Tegan Williams, Matt Hardig and Aiden Cunningham. So it behooves him to be unselfish. Go blue. Maybe there would be an interference there on Glendale. No call. Knipple has it broken up. Good check by Chris Ramos, number 9. Glendale gets it back, though, and then throws it away. I was talking about Frankie Armenta. one of my favorite coaches, and I'll tell you why. And there's a lot of we've got a lot of great guys coaching in this state, but Frankie will give you a show, and I don't know if there's another coach in the state of Arizona that works the officials as consistently as Frankie does. I mean, if he can put a doubt in that official's mind, he's all in. A lot of coaches, they don't do it, or at least they're not as animated about it. And Frankie's he's a lot of fun to watch. And like I said, and if you have a chance to sit anywhere near the bench of the Higley Knights, you're going to be treated. And you just love Frankie Armenta's intensity. He had that same intensity as a player. In fact, he had a big game. I think it was a championship game back in the early 2000s. I think he was playing for Chuck Ruland. And my broadcast partner on the U of A games, the Hall of Famer, Mickey Miles Felton. A shout out to MMF going into the MCLA Hall of Fame. He's already been inducted as a founder. Proud moment for that guy. He's given his heart and soul to that U of A program. Fuentes, good defense by Coleman. Draws a slide. Teagan takes a shot, and it is still loose, and it's going to come out of the crease.
Teagan.
Well, that's the end of quarter number 3. We head to the 4th. 7-6 Glendale. It's the Arizona Lacrosse League on APN, powered by Ottawa. All right, Jeff Lowry back here from Thunderbird Paseo Park. We're in Glendale, Arizona. Good ground ball by Max Standich. Save again. Unbelievable save that time by Robbie Doran. Not Duran, Doran.
Go defense. Take it away. Defense.
Teagan Williams, electric player, and tried to go right through the 5-hole and could not get that one to go. Teagan has already scored 3 for Glendale. This might be a push against the Vipers.
All right, here we go. No, guys.
4th quarter action.
No, it's good.
We've had 2 ties at 1-1 and 6-6. Teagan Williams scoring in the early stages of quarter number 3 to give the Glendale Vipers their first lead of the contest. Their only lead of the contest. And now the 8th grader, Gavin Wolf. High stick there. Jackson Warren, you can hear the crowd wanting a foul. Everybody to my right of our camera well here, our broadcast location, as Gummel gets the ball out front. Coleman takes a shot. And a good challenge over there by Derek Baumgartner. And a nice slide there by our infamous number 7. Coleman on the restart, and he's got it! A hat trick! He is going to end the season as he ties it up at 7 apiece. Coleman Owen. We'll have to check to see who got the assist on that one. It might have been Gavin Wolf, which would be his 4th assist of the year. 77 points now on the season. He got 2 of the top face-off guys, Cam Rash for Higley. They're in the dark blue uniforms with the gray shorts. Glendale in the white, moving from right to left on your television. They're led by Matt Hardig. You got the 2, I think the 2 premier. I got to throw Fraser in there. I got to put Patty Fraser in there of Chaparral, no doubt about it. I don't mean to leave anybody else out, but those are probably your top 3. There may be one more in there we could throw in, but I think Resch and obviously Matt Hardig, who Matt had, I'll tell you, number 17 for Glendale in the white. We're in a 7-7 tie, by the way, here in the 4th quarter. as we enter, coming up on the 4th minute of play. Teagan going to work. High left, gets it into the pipe, and broken up. Great defense, Stevie Ibarra. Get it to Johnson. And Higley preserves his tie. Quickly to Coleman Owen. The tremendous speed. Wolf, high shot, no. Well, it was a good build-up by the Higley Knights. Here's Wolf going back to work. Well, he got slapped in the face. No flag. Shot. Robbie Doran. That ball almost looked like it went into the went into the cage. That ball almost looked like it went in. It passed the plane, but the officials say no. Gavin Wolf. Well, keep in mind, number 24 is in 8th grade. One of the few players. Oh, great pass, and Owen couldn't corral it. And the ground ball picked up by Fuentes. Great clear for Glendale. We're in a 7-7 tie here in quarter number 4. If Higley can win this one, get a little help from South Point in beating Boulder Creek, this Higley team will be the number 4 seed. If Glendale wins this game, and South Point loses to Boulder Creek, then Glendale could be as high as 5. But South Point would have to lose. Glendale with a chance to go to 8-5. This is a big ground ball, 7-7 tie. Every possession is important. And how about that, Knipple? Teagan Williams wanting to pull the trigger, and the great defense by Max Standage. Has he had a great year or what? Number 16 on the defense for Higley. Glendale coming in negative on the point differential. Higley, one of the better teams. Notre Dame, clearly the best in point differential. And Johnson, once again. Well, he had the climb. That was a tough save. And that might have at least caught a little crossbar. John Levante, who had a spectacular assist earlier in the game. Coleman. Boy, I'll tell you, that was the Trojan horse play right there. He just acted like he wasn't going to do anything with it, and then Coleman came in, the trailer, and look at Gavin Wolf coming in, and he gives the Knights the lead. No, it is going to count. No penalty at the end of the play, and Gavin Wolf, the 8th grader, has his first score, and Higley regains the lead. 8-7 Higley here in the 4th. About 8 minutes left to go here in regulation time. Unsettled ball, who wants it? And it's Glendale. Hardig with a big GB. Manuel Tanaka, number 8. Now Fuentes comes in. Teagan left it wide to the left of the goal.
Was going in.
Teagan's dad as the shot turned away. Colton Johnson, tough nut to crack here tonight. Great pass, Knipple drawing the slide, pulls the trigger, and Colton slaps it away. What a crease defender for Higley. So Gavin Wolf, the 8th grader, scores a couple of moments ago. Boy, look at the 4 defenders around the ball, and O'Hare comes up with a big ground ball. This is a huge clear for Higley. And then they throw it away. So Glendale will get it back. Higley Knights, formerly the Gilbert Tigers. And Higley's going to get it right back. Higley is led by Torin Kemp, number 14, and Seth Gummel has 16 assists this year. And Frankie wants a timeout. A lot of unsettled play there, and this will give his team a chance to regroup. And they want to hold on to that 1-goal lead. Bill Casey, I've known Bill Casey many years. I'll tell you, these two coaches here, two of my favorites, no doubt about it. And Bill Casey's done such a great job promoting this sport on the west side. He's the president, commissioner of the Arizona Box Lacrosse. It's a great way to, really refine your skills. Here's Wolf going to work, and he's done it again. How about that? And it's 9-7. Gavin Wolf has taken over the fourth quarter for the Knights. I'll tell you what, here's a young man you may want to keep a close eye out the next 4 years because he's in 8th grade. He's got 4 more years of eligibility. He has 10 points. He has 7 goals, 3 assists. And he's not going to have to share so much with Coleman Owen graduating next year. So Higley enjoying their biggest lead since they led it 6-4 and 4-2 and 3-1. Coleman, that's the third time Coleman has let one slip by, and Powell will restart it for the Vipers. Now Robbie Dorn, who has had a great game in goal here tonight. I know we've got not really a high-scoring game here tonight, but both goalies have just been tested.
Go.
And Gavin Wolf with a GB at midfield. Get it over to Jeffrey Cole, and Jeff with the big left. And there's a flag on the play. Cross-check against Glendale. The goal will count. The penalty is against Jackson Warren. That is the second goal of the day for Jeffrey Cole. He has 24 goals this year, 24 points, and it's 10-7. And time is not on the side of the Glendale Vipers with about 3.5 left to go. They get the ground ball. Good win there by Baumgartner. Good clear by Derek. Number 4-2. And Teagan couldn't corral it, but backed up nicely by Grant Warren. The thing I like about Grant Warren, I've seen the Vipers 4 times this year. Even if he doesn't get his scores, he got 20 goals, 15 assists coming into this game. So he can play very unselfishly, much like a ball carrier 93 Fuentes. But he just seems to be around the ball, and how many times do you make a bad pass or you mishandle a ground ball, and you know what? There's Grant Warren. So Jeff Lowry with you, fourth quarter action. Teagan Williams, he has a hat trick here tonight. But Glendale needs a couple quick scores. Time is running out on this team. We're inside of 3 minutes. Teagan, he's found the promised land. Good roll dodge. High-low trajectory. And Teagan Williams has his 4th goal. And there's at least life here for Glendale. Stay with us at the conclusion of this game. We'll have post-game interviews with the winning team. Look at Matt Hardy. That's why, big reason why he is one of the premier Fogos. I think he's the premier Fogo in the state. And the year he had last year, as Higley's going to call a quick timeout, he had a monster year last year. But Max Manka had a season for a generation. And that was the one guy that overshadowed, but you can't take anything away from Matt. In fact, I think Max Manka's junior year, might have been even better. Max Manka, Matt Hardig, going to go down as 2 of the greats face-off guys ever. Two of them. Coleman Owen, 4 points, couple of goals, 3 goals, 2 assists.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Coleman Owen is going to be the points champion in the Arizona Lacrosse League, and he's going to lead the conference in goals. Now, in terms of assists, right now, Max Armitage apparently has finished with 30 assists. He had 2 tonight in their win over Sal Point, and so Owen doesn't win the Triple Crown, but he's going to lead the state in goals. He's got 49, 2 better than Victor Verbalitis, and he has a total of 77 points. And then we'll see what Brady Vibrance does tomorrow. Bergamo right now is 68, but Vibrance has another game, and I mean, that guy's tremendous. Teagan. And we're inside the final minute of play. What a night for number 8, Stevie Ibarro and Chris Ramos. They've done a great job defensively. Jonah O'Hare. And a big game by Max Standage. I think Max, a lot of big-time ground balls, big-time clears, timeout Glendale. I think Max Standage had a big game here, especially the second half. Maybe not so much the first half, but the second half, Max was an impact player. Teagan Williams. And I'll tell you, Colton Johnson has been a boil on Teagan's neck. Even though Teagan's got 4 goals, Colton Johnson has turned a lot of his shots away here tonight. Teagan shooting about 38% from the field and averaging nearly 4 points a game. Here's Coleman Owen.
Look up.
I would almost, you know what? I almost would have to say, we'll have to bleep that out. I'd have to say Coleman, probably the player of the year. 5 points here tonight. So they're not going to secure the 4th spot. So your playoffs are going to be Brophy 1, Notre Dame 2, as it's all over. And a 10-8 win here for the Higley Knights. They will finish number 5. Glendale is going to drop to 8 most likely, unless Mountain Ridge comes up with an upset. You can go to the Arizona Lacrosse League website for the final standings. All right, let's send it down to the
Boulder
field.
Creek, South Point game, but first give us your names.
Colton Johnson.
Max Standage.
Okay, guys, this Glendale team's had a good year. They gave you everything they had. What was it like out there?
We had a good lead in the first half, and then they came back and took a lead in the second half, but Coach Frankie just told us to start working hard. He told me to start getting those ground balls on the face-off, and luckily I was able to pull some out. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, and you did. I thought you did a great job with the ground balls and a couple of real nice clears. This guy in goal was tremendous tonight. I thought you and Robbie for the other team was tremendous in goal. Does it matter that you're the 4 or 5 seed when it comes down to it?
No, sir.
And how do you feel about your chances of going deep this year in the playoffs? What do you got to improve on?
I think we need to improve on talking for defense, especially from the middies. Last few games they've been lacking on that, but third, fourth quarter of this game they really picked it up, and that's what got us this win.
How important was it to have Coleman here? I know he was up against a little disciplinary for something I know he didn't mean to do. But, I mean, what does he mean to this team?
It means a lot. He brings everyone up, gets everyone on their toes. He's on his toes always. He's always got a trick up his sleeve.
He sure does. Well, you guys, good luck. The first round of the playoffs start here in a few days. Knights, one of the outstanding teams this year. 10-8 our final, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you.
Thank you.